Chapter 9. Step 6. Creating your ideal future. Many have forged a path to greatness lit only by a vision in their minds. Chris Gardner. Creating your ideal self is about who you want to become. It's not about who you are right now. It's about who you are striving to be. Believe it or not, this is not the end of the road for you. And hopefully, I have proven that to you by now. The best version of you is yet to be discovered, yet to be attained. So who is the best version of you? Murphy's Committee is going to throw everything they have at you in order to get you to turn back. One of my favorite episodes of Family Matters is when Waldo and Eddie got their own apartment. To me, he's the funniest character in the show. And in that episode, Waldo was struggling to carry his box from the front door to the kitchen counter. He got about one step away from setting the box on the counter, stopped, and then said, "I'm not going to make it." He turns around and takes the box all the way back to the front door. I was like, what? That was so funny to me. Although this was a TV show, this scene represents so much I see in real life. Millions of people every day get one step away from accomplishing their goals in life only to quit. In order for you to get through all the shit that's going to come your way as your life is beginning to change, you have to know what's in it for you. You have to know what lies ahead, beyond the struggles, headaches, disappointments, setbacks, and frustration Murphy's going to throw at you, and you will quit. You must trust your vision over your sight. Sight versus vision. There's a difference between sight and vision. The definition of sight is the faculty or power of seeing the action or effect of seeing someone or something. Something that is seen. It's what you see in front of you, what your eyes can see. Vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom, a mental image of what the future will be or could be like. Let's go back to the story of Joseph from the beginning of the book. Joseph was a little boy who God gave a vision that he would become second in command of Egypt, right? When Joseph told his brothers and his father about the dream that he had and the vision that God gave him of what he would become in the future, the brothers got pissed off and jealous. And to make a long story short, they threw him in a hole, stripped him of his clothes, and then sold him to a slave caravan, and they carried him off to Egypt, where his vision ended up coming true 20 years later. Here's my point. Joseph was sitting in the hole in the desert, so deep he couldn't climb out of it. But he didn't freak out. Why? Why didn't the little boy freak out about what was happening in front of him in that very moment? It's because he trusted his vision over his sight. He didn't flip out because what he was seeing in front of him with his eyes is not what he saw in his vision and his imagination, his mental picture of what God said would happen. So if what he sees with his eyes is not what he saw with his mind, then he knew his situation was only temporary. This is why trusting your vision over your sight is so important. Life is going to happen. Murphy is going to throw shit at you every single day. Your car will get repossessed. The landlord says you got to move unexpectedly. Anything. I remember once, back when I was building my network marketing business, I was living in the back of a hookah lounge. Yet every day, I was still striving in my business. Then one month, bam, I hit the top level executive director and my team went nuts. The next month, I was able to give a speech about my journey. No one on my team or in my company knew that I was living out of my car and sleeping in the back of a rat-infested hookah lounge until I told them during my promotion speech. How did they not know? Because every single day I was dressed for success. When I finally told that story, people were like, How did you stay so motivated? My answer? Because what I was seeing in front of me was not the vision God gave me for my life. Therefore, I knew it was temporary. As hard as it may seem to believe right now with the season of life you're in, everything that you have gone through and are currently going through is preparing you for what you are destined to do on this planet. Which brings me to my topic, purpose. The power of purpose. Original intent. That's the definition of purpose. The reason for which something is done or created, for which something exists. You might be asking yourself, Steve, where are you going with this? Let me tell you. You weren't created just because. You weren't born just because. There is a mandate, an official order or commission to do something on your life. There is something here on this earth that you are specifically designed and created to do. Everything that you are going through, everything, no matter how fucked up it is designed to put you in exactly where you're supposed to be when you are supposed to be there. Take my story, for example. Let's go through the highlights. My first 7 days of my life, I had no name. Therefore, I was born a nobody. 6 months after I was born, my mother becomes addicted to crack, which led to moving around to different neighborhoods a lot, resulting in me attending about 7 or 8 schools while living with her, along with a whole host of incidences that I'd rather not mention here. Then I went to live with my father, who was emotionally and physically abusive, where I attended about another 7 schools. At 15 years old, I told my cousin I wanted to kill my father, which resulted in me on the bus headed back to live with my grandmother. Fast forward, I join the military, grandmother passes, I lose my rabbit-ass mind. Then I marry the first girl who says she loved me because my crazy ass thought my grandmother passed away and brought her to me, and now she was responsible for my happiness, which put a hell of a lot of pressure on her. Then when she decided that she was going to leave me, I ran into the bathroom with a loaded shotgun, pulled the trigger, and the gun didn't go off for whatever reason. She leaves. I get in trouble. I ended up in anger management class. I started drinking because I didn't know how to deal with the negative emotions. I came home to California and partied for 2 weeks, went back to Virginia, where I was stationed at the time. Lights were cut off because I didn't pay the damn bill. Go to Andrew's house party to get drunk. 3 days later, I'm accused of rape. Fight the charge, beat the charge, only to be recharged with unknowingly having sex with a minor at 19 years old. Asked for withhold finding, which means if I didn't get any trouble for 10 years, because I had never been in trouble before that, and the case was bogus, then they would wipe it off my record. Judge says no. Sentences me to 5 years, suspended on 10 years probation of good behavior. Walking out of the courtroom, I met a guy named Hank. Hank says, "Hey, young man, you don't know me, but we have a mutual friend." He said we should meet. Let me give you a ride home. On the ride home, he says, your life doesn't have to go in the direction that you think it's going. If you change how you think and what you believe about yourself, everything else will change for you. So he introduced me to the field called network marketing. There I began to learn about personal development and being an entrepreneur. This opened my eyes to what was possible and started my obsession with the human mind. Thus, 15 years later, here I am today. I'm an author, speaker, and life coach. And because of all the random shit that I went through, the stories I've told in this book, and the dozens of others that I did not tell, has made me so effective at what I do because I'm able to relate to so many people. My life is working for me, not to me. Everything was happening the way it was supposed to happen in order for me to become who I needed to become so that I would be able to fulfill my original intent, God's vision for my life, which is to teach people who are at a crossroads in their lives and want to change, but not sure how or where to start. Not just what to do to change, but how to change effectively. Everything I went through has led me to this point. I'm not telling you all of this to impress you. I'm telling you all of this to impress upon you that your life matters too. You can only connect the dots of your life going backwards. You can write all of your memories and connect the dots. Oh, this led to this, which led to that, and so on and so forth. But you have to have faith that the dots are going to connect going forward. This means whatever season you're in right now, there is a lesson you are supposed to learn. There is something that you are supposed to get out of this experience that you are going through to prepare you for who you are going to become. The definition of evolution is the gradual development of something. We humans, as well as everything else on planet Earth, is meant to evolve. And for that reason, everything that happens in your life is for the evolution of your character in order for you to fulfill the purpose God has on your life. Creating your ideal self. Write your 5 to 10 year big picture vision of who you want to become. Through this process, you are going to create your ideal self. Choose one area of life to focus in. For example, career, relationship, health, fitness. Imagine if you had a realistic magic wand and you are writing a movie character of who you will be 10 years from now. It's important to remember that you're writing in the energy of being and capturing the 4 elements of your character: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Physical energy levels and everything you can think of at a physical level. Mental. This includes your internal self-talk, phrases you say, beliefs and values, also your interests, what you focus on, your likes, etc. Emotional. What's your emotional state? How do you respond versus react to life? How do you process challenges? Spiritual. Where are you at with knowing and understanding your purpose? What is your role here on earth? What is your spiritual preference? How are you being the light to others on this planet? It is important to write it as if it is happening now. Like you woke up today and now you're journaling the last 5 or 10 years. Remember, this is about who you want to become. I want to end this chapter with an example. I want to share with you my 10-year ideal self. My name is Steve Bacon. I am a king and an innovator, a liberator, determined, loving, ambitious, and trusting. I am an ambassador for humanity. I am a leader of self, community, and family. I am compassionate, strong, intelligent, and collaborative. I am a protector, loyal, and proud of who I am and others' culture. I am an excavator of human potential. I am a truth seeker. I am smart. I am powerful. I am adaptive. I am in the best shape of my life, and I don't mean just in looks. I've been doing cross-training now for 10 years. My joints are great, and internally, I'm healthy from great nutrition. The combination of the two, plus daily meditation, has me feeling amazing. Oprah called me on my phone and said that she thought I was the new Tony Robbins. People from all over the world come to one of my seminars and have life-changing breakthroughs. Whenever I do a tour, stadiums of people show up. I'm talking about 10, 15, 20,000 people. My breakthrough work has become so popular that I've been brought out to prisons to train new coaches with lived experience on how to effectively assist someone in changing their behavior. I also have trained staff members at youth organizations all over the world on the cutting-edge method of mentoring and coaching. My life is full and fulfilled with helping people effectively change their self-image and behavior. I've been recognized by CNN Heroes, the NAACP, BET, and Howard University, just to name a few. I have written several books, recorded thousands of hours of audio messages, YouTube videos, and audiobooks. I am known as the breakthrough specialist. My one-on-one coaching is so raw that I have a 6-month waiting list. People that wait are willing to wait just to have the opportunity to work one-on-one with me. I have a high-end clientele base for one-on-one coaching, including athletes, actresses, actors, government officials, clergy, and heads of state. I have taken a special interest in working with African American CEOs and entrepreneurs. My work has allowed for my criminal record to be wiped clean. Millions signed a petition for a Virginia governor's pardon. It was granted. Through business, I have traveled and spoken on 6 of the 7 continents on Earth. I have vacationed a few times a year to rejuvenate in the most beautiful tropical islands in the world. In the last 10 years, I've stayed at Sir Richard Branson and Tony Robbins Islands. So cool. Former President Obama personally called me to ask for my help in designing a new prototype school for inner cities. He loved my idea of Success Academy, purpose-driven education, which has existed in my mind for over a decade. We break ground for the first school in Oakland in May. Classes will begin in the fall. Directors Ava DuVernay of A Wrinkle in Time and Ryan Coogler of Black Panther both have reached out to me to discuss the rights to the documentary about a movie made about my life. I am so blessed. That was my example. Now I want to hear yours. It's your turn. Who will you become in the next 5 to 10 years? How will you show up? What will they say about you